Hey guys, welcome back to New Stuff TV, the untechnical tech channel. Whew, man, I am your host, Antoine. Was it all a dream or was it virtual reality? I hope it was not real because I almost pooped my pants, Richardson. Because today we're gonna be talking about the PlayStation VR2 virtual headset. Like, this is the real deal. It is in my hands and I have experienced some things. Let me come closer. I have experienced some things, okay? And I just want to tell you about it. So it's story time. Let's go. So for those of y'all who don't know, I have been absent from the gaming world for a long time. I'm talking almost 2 decades. And recently I decided to get a PS5 just to have something to do, man, some entertainment. And then shortly after that, I saw that the PSVR2 would be released. And I was like, hey, why not? Let me just try this thing out. I tried the old school Samsung VR, I think it was Gear VR, VR Gear, something like that. I don't remember, but that was back in the Samsung days of the Note 7. And it was pretty cool. So I decided, why not try this one? Because it has to be way better. I'm going to talk about a few things in regards to the PS5, the VR experience, and as a whole, as far as my experience. Now, first of all, I want to talk about how these are, like when we talk about video games, we're usually thinking about young people, maybe kids or something like that, because kids like this stuff. But I will tell you, with the price of these things, these are grown man's toys. But in nowhere in time in this video, you will see me say that it wasn't absolutely worth it. Yes, if that was a spoiler you were looking for, I feel like the entire package, even at $1,000 at one time, is absolutely worth it. Well, of course, if you're actually going to use it. I feel like I've had a great time. I definitely haven't gotten $1,000 worth of entertainment out of it yet, but I will. And this is why. When it comes to the PSVR2 controllers, you're getting a high quality, well-crafted controller that fits the hand ergonomics really, really well. This is the left controller right here. It does come with a lanyard already attached so you don't drop it or swing it around and hit a mirror or child or something. So you just strap that around your wrist and then you just reach in there and grab. So you just grab just like that. And you can see my hand is already in a pistol grip form. So this is great for playing first person shooters such as Resident Evil, which we will be talking about momentarily. But then right at the top, you see your thumbstick right there. And then you have your easily accessible triangle and square button on this side. And then on the right hand, you're actually gonna get your X and your O. Let me turn that around so you can see it. There's your X and your O. So they mirror each other, but the buttons are actually different because you do need all of your PlayStation buttons and interface, and it's all right here. A pro and a con of all of these controllers is that they are rechargeable. That is a pro, meaning that they are wireless and you don't have to worry about repurchasing batteries, and stuff like that. You can get docks for them, but of course that's going to be an extra charge. But I would say that's a pro, that they are rechargeable because you don't have to keep replacing batteries. It also comes in at a con because you do have to recharge them. That means limiting your play time to maybe an hour or two, or depending on how much you've used it. And if you actually forget to charge and then you go into your next play session, you might end up having to cut that short. I think the max I've really ever played was about 2 hours at one time, and this is in the middle of the night and I was just upstairs gaming. And yeah, that's plenty of time for me. So I really don't have any complaints about having to recharge these things. They've lasted me long enough. And we're just gonna leave that whole wireless battery charging thing at rest right now. Now, the part that isn't wireless is the actual headset. You have this permanently attached cord. I think I would have liked to see this be a USB-C cable right here, because on the opposite end of that long cable is a USB-C end. And I think this should have been detachable as well, just for convenience and storage and stuff like that. I just don't like having that super long cord permanently attached here. I would just like to reconnect it and disconnect it as I need it to for convenience. Now, being that you do have to have the cord attached, you're getting no delay. I'm talking 0 latency and the best quality you can get out of your PlayStation 5 and PSVR2 possible, because you got a cord here. I mean, the data is going to travel super fast in this thing, so you don't have to worry about that. And in my experience, it's been long enough to not get tangled up or, not hinder my gaming experience. There was a couple of times I either pulled it over my shoulder to the front or to the back, and you just kind of stand around your room doing your business while you're playing the game, and it just doesn't seem to distract me. Other people might have a complaint, but I don't have any. Now, this is a really big headset, so the first thing you would probably think when you look at it is it comfortable? And my answer is Yes, I'm actually very surprised at how ergonomic this thing is. It's supposed to kind of slant on the back of your head. In fact, I'll just go ahead and put it on right now. What you do is you kind of just grab it right here at the front, at the brow, and then you push this big circular button back here, stretch that headband back, put it on the scoop of your head. You know what I'm saying? Put it on the scoop back there and let it close up to the top of your forehead. Then there's a button right here on the top, and you push that close to your face to block out all the ambient lighting. And then you're in total darkness until you press a little button under here, and it takes you to the cameras that are on the front, and then you can actually start seeing stuff. And then when it's time to actually grab your controllers or play the game, there you are, you press that button again, and then you're doing your VR stuff. But as far as comfort, this is good. It's not resting on the bridge of my nose, causing too much pressure or anything. And I found out last night or yesterday that you can wear these with glasses. I actually wear glasses, corrective lenses, now that I'm getting older in age, and I just wanted to try it out. And my glasses, matter of fact, I'll go get them for you. So these are my frames. They're not particularly large, but you know, they are still glasses. So they will sit on the front of my face, just like any other set of glasses. So I'll just put these on with the headset, crank that in, and then I'll push it close to my face. And once again, we are in pure comfort, and I'm actually wearing my corrective lenses. So if that's something you've actually been worried about, don't, because you can actually wear your VR headset comfortably with glasses, and it doesn't push them up against your face, and it doesn't seem to hit the actual lenses that are in the VR, scratching them up, because you don't want to do that because this is a very expensive toy. Now, the last thing I want to talk about regarding hardware is this set of earbuds right here. This actually comes with your headset, and I'm here for it because I was wondering how I was going to listen to like regular headphones, or am I going to have my own earbuds attached to it. But they taking care of that for you. It has a 3.5 millimeter input right there. You just put that into the headset, and then the other end has a little plastic clip. Put that on that side, and it's completely out of your way as far as being wrapped around the back of your head. Now, if you want to use these, that's going to be great because they do provide really, really great stereo sound and makes the experience a lot more immersive than just listening to it on your TV. But in the event you don't need to use them, they do have these little holes right here. I was wondering what this was, but I just kind of figured it out that when you're not using them, you just plug them in there, and they are completely out of your way when you're playing your game, and you don't feel them kind of like dangling along the side of your head or your neck. Now let's talk about my actual experience. Man, let me tell you. Okay, so hopefully you saw my initial reaction video when I unboxed it and started playing Horizon Call of the Mountain. That game exhausted me to the point where I truly did need something to eat. And I needed to just take a break because I was starting to sweat and I was just tired. It captivated me emotionally. I was fighting for my life in that game, man. And it's so cool because, you know, everything is just kind of, you know, as far as the ergonomics and the body mechanics, everything's so real. You reach back to grab your bow, you reach back to grab an arrow, you have to hold on to the bow, you have to hold on to the arrow, you pull back, you feel that resistance, you let it go, the bow flies, you hit targets. That was so awesome. But I will tell you Horizon was built with the PSVR in mind, okay? But I actually got the Resident Evil Village. And that game does things to me as it is, playing on a big screen. Most of my gaming has been on a 120-inch screen via a projector in my house. So, you know, it's pretty immersive when you're playing that way. But once I got it on VR, I wish I would have recorded it, man. When I put it on, had these controllers in my hands, and it says, okay, we're ready to go, right? You press the trigger and it says, okay, the game is starting. And then all of a sudden, you see your hands. And it's like, with the tutorial, you see your hand, your whole forearm, right? And then it takes you through like target practice and how to pick up things. And you can see your hands pretty much articulating. And then it takes you to the shooting range, and then you pick up the pistol and it teaches you how to load it. And then you gotta cock it back, and then you actually aim. And it asks you which eye is dominant because it does have eye tracking. So it asks you which eye is dominant, and I guess I'm left eye dominant because I got to squint with my right eye. Then I'm like, wow. And it just works. And it was just like so cool. Then they take you to the shotgun tutorial, and it was like, okay, I really have to cock this thing. This is so cool. And then you actually get into gameplay, and that's where I'm gonna just tell you about my experience in this VR and give you some pointers as well. So it takes you to the actual gameplay of Resident Evil Village. And once you get past the whole putting your baby to sleep scene and you're actually in the village, that first part, I start fighting these little zombie gargoyle nasty people, right? They start coming at you, and you know, I got my gun with me and I'm running out of bullets. I've blasted them, right? And my aim is way better with the VR than it is with the regular controller here. I really suck with a regular controller, but man, I'll pop a cap in your butt with a VR controller. So I'm busting these guys up, right? Then I run out of bullets, so I had to pull my knife out of my little forearm sleeve here. So I flip the knife around and I'm just like jabbing away at these guys. And I'm like, and they're coming from all directions. So I'm fighting them off. And finally I survived that first scene. And I'm sweating, like seriously, I got like a ring around my shirt because I've been fighting for my life, bro. I got a sweat ring going around here. My armpits are like all sweaty and stuff, and I can feel the sweat on the VR thing right here. And then that giant comes, the giant with the big hammer thing, he comes and then he gets down at me, he goes to my face, and he's like 6 inches away from my face. And I'm just like, holy crap. I know I'm in a virtual reality world, but this is so realistic. I know he can't hurt me, but I'm terrified. Like I'm clenching. I'm clenching back here because I'm like, oh crap, he's gonna get me. But my brain is telling me it's not real, but it feels so freaking real. And then the little gong happens and then they all run off and I'm like, oh crap, I'm so glad I didn't have to fight those guys because it wasn't gonna end well for me. And I finally calmed down. And I'm still kind of like on edge because I don't know what's coming out because I haven't really played that game that much. And then I talked to that creepy skeleton lady, which I'll have to show you some B-roll of this. I talked to that creepy skeleton lady or whoever she was, the witch, and she's just so eerie looking and she's so close to me. Why does she have to be so close with her skin and her nose? And it's just like, man, this is so much detail, so close. The game was so realistic. And I did a little bit more gameplay and I took the headset off and I sat down, and that's where I want to get into my tips. Because the VR experience is so, I'm gonna put my quotes up when I say realistic, because you can tell it's not real because the game wasn't even really made that way. But it's realistic in a sense where you are grabbing and touching things, and it's so immersive because you got your earbuds in and things are coming real close. They're literally behind you and it's just so immersive. And if you move too fast, you might end up making yourself a little sick, a little motion sickness. So if you are motion sick prone, here are some tips, man. First of all, if you're motion sick prone, play sitting down. You can set your area to play sitting down and it'll be just as fun. You just won't have to turn around to look at anything. You can do the controllers. You can just kind of click left and right to spin around if you need to without actually moving your body. Because there were times where I felt my knees kind of buckling because of the motion, thinking my brain is telling me that I'm actually moving, but I'm not. So play sitting down. That would be step number one. Step number two is, short playing sessions. So, if you're the type of gamer who just likes to dive in and play for, 2-3 hours at a time, you might not want to do that, 10, 15 minutes. And if you do feel any motion sickness coming about, stop immediately and just take a break. And then, because once it sets in, it's not going anywhere. And if you try to power through it, then you're just going to make it worse. So just take a break once you feel it coming on. And then you can go back into gameplay probably 20, 30 minutes later and be just fine. And just, play in intervals. It will take you much longer to finish a game that way, but you don't get sick, right? Step number three, or tip number three, would be maybe chew some gum or eat some mints or something while you're doing it. And maybe the next one would be to kind of like get a fan, have a fan blowing on you, because yes, I was fighting for my life, but so I was doing a lot of activity, right? So that's why I was sweating, but it was also because of a little bit of motion sickness setting in. And when you feel like you're about to, blow chunks, usually you do get a little bit of sweat going, you know what I mean? So have a fan cooling you off. That way you can extend your gameplay and be much more comfortable when you're coming out of this headset or while you're during gameplay. So those will be my tips. I don't even know how many that is, but that will actually help you because it helped me out quite a bit. But I think the biggest thing is to maybe play sitting down first, and then to also keep your sessions relatively short. But as far as the gameplay, man, and was it worth it? Oh man, I say hell yeah all day. Like I cannot wait until I can play something like, so Ghost Recon is one of my favorite games, right? And you can do it on the VR screen inside of here on a massive screen, right? but it's not in VR to where you can turn around and do stuff because you're not submersed into the world. But they do have a game. What game is that? Let me look at my phone real quick. Here's the game right here, Crossfire Sierra Squad. This game right here would be my replacement to Ghost Recon. Let's just see a little clip right here. You see this right here? He's getting out of the chopper here. Oh man, this is gonna be so cool. I cannot wait to play this game. So he's dropping out of there. All right, man, look at this. Look at all of that action. I cannot wait to play this game on the PSVR2. This is gonna be so immersive. Dude, I'm gonna be just dropping rounds on any and everything, man. I'm just gonna be in it. I cannot wait. I'm so excited about this game. But first I gotta push through killing these zombies and stuff in Resident Evil 2. And fighting for my life. I'm not an expert in this kind of stuff, but what I do know is PSVR2 is here and I am all about it. This is actually more than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was just gonna be, you know, some cool thing that was gonna be fun that I would play like, you know, maybe once or twice and kind of be over it, but I'm not. I'm actually ready to go back in, but I have work to do. So that would be my last tip. Make sure you actually get some stuff done, man. Don't be just sitting up in the VR world chilling out, you know, go do life. That's my last tip, because you're gonna wanna explore more with this thing. So absolutely worth it in my book. It's just that, yeah, I was fighting for my life, man. If you could have been there with me and felt what was going on in here. Look, y'all keep being good to each other and I'll see you when I see you. So let me get this straight. You like this video so much that you forgot to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. Don't worry about it, man. My feelings ain't hurt. You just keep on doing you, boo-boo. See you when I see you.